let's talk about Lamar Jackson. And right now in my head, I know that's a dog pound track that we come in with all the time with that corrupt behind the walls. But there's another song that they made called What Would You Do? And if y'all remember that one went even harder. Boom, boom. What would you do if you. Anyway, what would Lamar Jackson do if he were a New England Patriot? Let's get into this one because a reporter says, hey, man, I was sitting there at the NFL meetings, owners meeting, saw Bob Kraft there, decided, hey, why not take a shot, throw a Hail Mary at him and see if he's going to answer this kind of crazy question. He said, Lamar Jackson requested a trade today. A lot of fans back home in New England are clamoring for him. What do you think? Will the Patriots make a run? And you ever ask somebody a question like that and you're like, dog, you almost start turning your body as soon as you ask it. You're like, man, they ain't about to answer this. And he said, Bob Kraft bit. And he was like, what? The Hail Mary connected. Now, full discretion right here. I got to tell you guys, that man, Bob Kraft, Columbia alumni right there. Yeah, so I had to do that full disclosure. Let's talk about it. He says this. I don't know how to take this, but y'all work with me on this one. You know, Meek Mill is my friend. Now, I don't know who clout chasing more in this relationship. Meek Mill to Bob Kraft or Bob Kraft to Meek Mill. Because if somebody ever responds, well, you know, Marcellus Wiley is my friend. Like, it's like, oh, dog, why don't you just say my friend said? And that lets you know Bob is kind of pumped. He got that young rapper kicking it with him. You know, Meek Mill is my friend. He said he texted me saying that Lamar Jackson wanted to come here. All right, we're getting somewhere. Player personnel director, Meek Mill. But that's Bill Belichick's decision. Oh, here we go. Y'all know I'm going to talk through this. Of course, Bill Belichick had to respond to this, and he says, quote, I'm not going to talk about players on any other team. And you know he said it hella dry and shorter than that. So, what is going on here? What do you do when your homeboy texts you and your homeboy is not even associated with the NFL? Why are you putting that out there as an owner to just deflect and then say, actually, that's not my responsibility, that's Bill Belichick? Do y'all see this hot potato going on right here? Like seriously. Like one, Bob Kraft, I love you to death. You know that. But I think everything's your responsibility if you want it to be. But of course, why step in something like this, the Lamar Jackson sweepstakes, if you don't have interest? So what do? You delegate that, right? You deflect. You say, oh, got to ask Bill Belichick about that one. But Bill Belichick already got his marching orders, or you already know he ain't trying to march towards Lamar Jackson. So this is an easy one to play. And then bring up like, oh, you know what? I'm just sitting at the crib, you know what I'm saying? About to go to the club and threw on some Meek Mill. While I'm listening to Meek texts me, talking about Lamar Jackson, hit him up, tomorrow I want to be a Patriot. How random is this and how raggedy does this sound in terms of Lamar Jackson's operations if they really trying to do that? And the fact that Bob Kraft really gonna listen to Meek Mill, hilarious. But let's be real about this and talk about the options Lamar Jackson has in this moment, because it's starting to look a little different than it did not only a month ago, but obviously when Lamar Jackson was at his full powers. Washington. Now, Washington, interesting. The Commanders, you look at their situation, I can see Lamar Jackson there because obviously he's more talented and better than the quarterbacks on their roster. What did Washington come out and say? Quote, I don't want to sound critical of anyone. You know what's about to happen then. They're going to hide their criticism, but they about to be critical. He's a very talented guy. He's one of the better quarterbacks in this league. Uh-oh, that's a shot right there. One of the better, because better means like you mid-pack, like you better than the mid-pack. Like, right? So what are you, 10 to 16? Maybe. Mayhew said, but for us right now, I love the right now because that lets you know you can't argue me. Don't talk about yesterday. Don't talk about tomorrow. Right now. Don't talk about a year ago. Don't talk about when he won the MVP. Don't talk about the future. Right now, we're moving forward with Sam Howell and Jacoby Brissett. Man, it's dark out there for you, Lamar Jackson. It's dark. Sam Howell and Jacoby Brissett, y'all already know. Do what you want in the comments with that. Now let's talk about the Colts. Interesting. Jim Irsay, you know he's a rebel. However, he is a rebel that was just redeemed of late because he started calling out the Washington Commanders and Dan Snyder. But you remember all his issues and the drug addiction and all the problems that the owners had with him. Does he really want to go back to that place of being a pariah in the ownership group meetings? Or is he going to take this newfound space that, yeah, I attacked Dan Snyder. So, damn it, y'all love me. But this is what they have on their roster. Gardner Minshew, if they're going to get a Minshew mania, maybe, but Gardner Minshew and Pastor Nick Foles. Come on, y'all. That ain't going to get it either. So there's an opportunity for him with the Colts. But are you going to go do that? And obviously, the one that's really there for him is right under his nose. Stay with the Ravens. Now, you could have played this situation a little different, and instead of having the non-exclusive tag, franchise tag you could have had the exclusive one. The exclusive one. That's that big boy, right? But still, non-exclusive tag, you could play that, get tagged, mess around, you pull a Kirk Cousins. You stay with the Ravens and pull a Kirk Cousins. Why is that important? Because Kirk Cousins, for a 4-year span, made the most money of all players in the NFL. That includes when Patrick Mahomes signed for $500 million. That includes when Dak Prescott signed that mega deal for $160. Kirk Cousins made the most. So if you franchise tag it, and go out there and play and ball out, there is money at the end. There is a pot of gold at the end of that tunnel. However, there is a lot of risk involved as well because of the injuries. And you've been hurt 5 games last year, 5 games the year before. If that trend continues, obviously you can't get that Kirk Cousins type of money. But he's going to get paid regardless, y'all. I know this is a story that in the moment it just seems so dire and it's up and down roller coaster. But being real, a franchise level quarterback never hits free agency. The last time we saw it was Kirk Cousins. And when they hit it, you're like, what? Oh my God, under 30, Lamar Jackson could be 28 years old looking for an unrestricted free agent contract. That's mega bucks. That might be $300 million, especially after we see Herbert get paid and we obviously what happens with Joe Burrow, etc. So it's just funny that I love the hot potato of this conversation. I love the fact that there's nepotism in this NFL, the meritocracy of sports. Man, stop. Nepotism, we saw it with Belichick and his son, Steve Belichick. There's cronyism in NFL in terms of appointing people to power that don't really have those credentials. We see it all the time. And there's also networking or working the net. Meek Mill just texting the owner, say, hey, yo, think about my boy. What's up? And the owner actually letting that leave his mouth. All of that says that Lamar Jackson's going to have a landing spot. It's going to be sweet, but it may not be exactly where he desires or when he desires.